You are watching Hockey in the Fort podcast. Now, with tonight's podcast, we've got Nick, Ed, and Don. Take it away, boys.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the new episode of Hockey in the Fort. We are joined tonight with former Komet and always a Komet, Leo Thomas. We'll share some old fun stories with everybody and try to get everybody to laugh in this weird time that we're all in. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Put them in the comment section. We will go with whatever we deem necessary and go from there.
Try to go with everything, but
so all right, Leo, we'll go ahead and start. Oh God, Frank's already talking.
Frank wants to know where his Force hoodie is.
His Force hoodie. It's at Parkview, man, but I'll get you one.
It's on me.
Well, it's in the ice house. I heard it's locked down.
Yeah.
So, all right, Leo. So for the newer fans that don't remember, you didn't get a chance to see you play. What was your time here? When did you play through here?
Okay, so I first got here, I think it was December of 2008, and then I played till 2012, and then I came back the last season I actually played before I retired. I can't think of the year right now, 15, I think.
16.
It's been a few years, so. But yeah, I came back for, I think, a 30-game stint there when they were in the coast, and ended up going back to the SPHL for the playoffs that year, and then retired shortly after that. So
Okay. So you played under Sims was your coach then, right?
Yes, Al Sims.
This is nasty as fuck.
How do you think that's life? That stuff is delicious.
I'm struggling with it, but
Yeah, because it's nasty as fuck.
Oh man, I thought it was good.
God, where do you come up with this shit beer? It looks like toilet water. It's disgusting.
You guys have no taste. You guys have no taste.
I'll pour it in a glass if you want here. Give me the
No,
Don's trying to share drinks on a Corona time.
No, you just wasted his beer, man. Sorry.
You can drink it, puss.
It's good for you.
All right, so you came here in 2008. Jesus Christ. We're clean here. You came here in 2008. So when you got here, was this your first pro stint? I can't remember.
no, this was I was probably 3 or 4 years in.
3 or 4, okay.
Yeah, I played my first 2 years in Flint, and then I was in Bloomington. I actually got waived in Bloomington, and then Frankie gave me the call probably 10 minutes after I got waived, and it was a pretty quick deal.
So you were pissed for 10 minutes then?
Yeah, pretty much. When I knew it was coming to Fort Wayne, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me in my career.
You were a
for
comment
sure.
killer for a while.
Yeah,
there when
yeah.
you came in against us. Yeah, when you came in with Flint, you and your brother were
Yeah,
pretty lethal. And then when you were in Bloomington, yeah. I always noticed Leo on the ice because he just you had just an extra gear. You just kept going, and you were always working out there, and that was one thing I noticed even before you came and played here.
Well, no, I appreciate that. And, anytime you come into Fort Wayne as a visitor, too, you just always want to play so well in this rink. Back then it was the sold-out crowds, 11,000 people. And
The jungle was still the jungle.
I loved it, man. And so when I got that call, it was, man, I jumped in the car so fast and headed to Fort Wayne. And I think it was like that week of my birthday as well, so it kind of worked out perfect for me. And, I won a championship my first year here, so.
Yeah, that's an okay start.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet start. And, coming to a team with, the veteran group with Chalk and PC Druin and Dupuis and all these guys and Shafronov, it was a no-brainer. And I'm just glad it worked out that way for me.
So when you came in, you got with that core group. Was it pretty easy to fit in with all those guys that have been together for so many years?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was the most I've been in, going into a new spot, not knowing anybody. And I had a lot of battles with Huckalo those days, and he was one guy I thought I probably wouldn't get involved or get along with coming into the room, and ended up being pretty good friends with him and a line mate for a bit. So it was cool, man. Yeah, I walked right into it like nothing. Like I've been here for a few years.
So who was the easiest guy to get along with right when you got here?
Probably Chalker, man.
Yeah.
Chalker was
He's easy
just
with
that.
everybody.
He was just that leader, man. Where as soon as I walked in the door, he grabbed me to the side, said that that they were pumped to have me, and welcomed me with open arms, and has made me feel comfortable. And, everybody was like that, but he was the first guy being the captain, and
Right.
And making me feel that comfortable and stuff like that. So
We're already getting a ton of questions for you. So
all right.
Gary said you were his Uber driver to rehab. One of his,
Yeah, I
one of
was,
his
man.
great buddies.
Yeah, no, Gary's an awesome guy. I think you guys know once you play here and you're part of this Comet family, it's
you always are.
you always are, and it's a pretty tight community. And Gary was just a guy that always helped me out behind the scenes, and got pretty close with his family and his boys. And he needed help that summer. He was battling a lot of stuff, so I was happy to be there and help him out for sure.
Did you ever work with the slap shot at all?
No,
He's got a pretty killer shot on
I
him,
heard
man.
that. Yeah, I always saw him in goalie, man, and then.
He was a good goal,
I
too.
just told him to keep playing out. I don't know why you're playing goalie. You're not a good goalie, Gary.
I was trying to help.
So, Dave Walters asked if better off ice experience playing up here in the north with the rich northern hockey culture or playing hockey with winters in Florida.
Just playing hockey in general, man. I love playing the game.
Is it real beer?
Obviously here was very special, and the time I went out to Florida was I was kind of at a crossroads in my career where I didn't know if I'd be sticking in the Central League or whatever. And Gary Graham, kind of helped me out, put me in a good position to further my career a little longer down there, and kind of worked out perfect except for one little incident, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, we both lived there, during, hockey time, and definitely a big difference between leaving the rink up here and leaving the rink down there.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Just driving on. You're looking both sides of your car, and there's just water, open water, and
That
80
bridge,
degrees every day. Yeah,
bridge
it's
over
pretty
the
nice.
bay was pretty nice,
Right.
wasn't it?
And that's actual water, not frozen water.
Right. That's beautiful, crystal clear, and
Yeah, Pensacola was pretty awesome.
pretty close to Destin, where that beach is even nicer. So, no, it was an awesome experience down there as well.
So what was the biggest, I don't think I ever asked you this when you were down there, what was the biggest change from playing up here in the coast, I guess it was CHL back then,
Yeah.
to going to the SP?
For me, it was obviously the weather, like we were just talking about, and then a lot of the times you go without ice or practice ice for
Weeks.
a couple weeks at a time. So
Yeah.
that was a little hard to get used to. And then being in Pensacola, you don't want to be at the beach every day and being a part of that lifestyle. So you kind of try to figure out ways to get the boys together, if it's ball hockey or roller hockey and stuff like that. So that was kind of the main thing.
Yeah, deck hockey was big down there.
Blake Sebring has a question, or says you have to tell the story about sitting down with him in the locker room and seeing all the team pictures hanging overhead, and what reaction was to seeing all the former Black Komets. Please, I'll never forget how you responded to that.
Oh, man. I wish. I'm
As
just trying
he's
to
sitting there
think
going,
exactly.
I think I forgot how I responded
Yeah.
to that.
Blake, drive on over. Come on.
Well,
It's
no.
only been 10 years. Come on.
Yeah, no. If I can remember, because me and Blake talked about so much things, and I just didn't know how many black hockey players actually played in Fort Wayne before me. I knew of a couple, so I think I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, holy shit! Like they've had almost every other season or something.
Yeah.
They've had a black hockey player here, so to me that was, because of this stuff on in this hockey back 20 years ago was pretty crazy. I know there's stuff that I went through growing up as a young kid playing hockey, so to see that they've had them players like that here for that long, it was awesome to see. And I knew like I was comfortable already at the time, but I kind of knew, okay, Fort Wayne's gonna be my home for sure. So
Yeah, I don't think Fort Wayne cares about color. I think they
no, yeah,
they'll bitch at you what color you are, no matter what color.
yeah, no. So, like I said, I dealt with a lot of that stuff when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think the game's taken humongous strides.
Oh, yeah.
over the last 5-10 years. So, I never dealt with that stuff here. So it was just awesome to see. And I can't remember exactly what I said to Blake, but
Oh, he'd be
sure.
able to tell you.
I know.
He was awesome. We had him on.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
no, I love Blake, man. Blake's another guy who's always been there for me, and we had some great conversations.
Frank wants to know if you have any good John DePace stories.
I played juniors with that kid too, so we were actually really close in juniors and started our pro career at the same time. So, do you have stories? I could probably for 4 hours and talk about them. So.
Give us your top two.
Yeah. He was just a great player. He was nuts. You know, he's one of those guys off the ice who he was a warrior. He was a warrior off and on the ice, and you know, we had some good times. We were both rookies coming into pro hockey, so we definitely good times away from the rink for sure. I'll just
pending litigation.
I'll leave it there. I'll just leave it there, man. But yeah, he was definitely one of my best friends in juniors and stuff, and coming into the pro.
We're waiting on the statute of limitations to run out a little farther.
Yeah,
just in case.
I don't want to.
I'm not sure about that last year.
Frank, feed us some stuff.
Yeah, come on, Frank.
So Gary Roos says he can still stop you.
What, net? As him as a goalie?
I'm assuming.
Goalie.
Challenge
Chance.
accepted.
Not a chance. He knows that, but I love you, Gary. I think my son could probably light him up. So.
All right. I think
He
we
knows
have
that.
our shooter for next year now.
Yeah, he knows that. Gary knows that.
Mark Shepler asks about your deck hockey career.
Oh yeah, we were studs, man. That was I think it was 2 summers. I think we played at the Plex. It was just something I used in the summer to stay in shape and stuff like that. And we had, I think it was me, Keith Rogers, Bobby Phillips on a team, and
Bobby.
you know, Shiraki was there, so it was awesome. I loved it. It was probably 180 degrees in the Plex playing, but
with pencil eraser shavings on your shoes when you're done. Yeah, those were the days.
But no, it was a good time, man. Yeah.
Yeah, those were fun.
It's like playing on the surface of the sun. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was hotter than shit.
I played out goal a few times.
I wasn't dumb enough to play goal there.
Well, I remember I was halfway through a game and I was about hallucinating. I was so hot. I was just.
It's because I swore they had to
keep
going.
sweat.
Yeah,
You were so
it was
hot.
nuts. And they had that one big fan and did nothing.
Yeah.
it was
I did take a throat shot from Schrock in that. He wound up and let one go, and oh god, it was horrible. Fucker.
And I was sweating like fucking crazy in the ice house. I couldn't imagine.
You'd have lost a few pounds out there at the Plex.
Oh my god.
I don't know if they don't do that anymore out there, do they?
No.
Bobby, you need to start that shit again. The guy that owns the Plex is watching, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man, get it going.
Kyle said he still stopped you at the Plex.
Kyle Bush.
Probably a backhand, maybe. From
I dumped it. You gotta die.
Dump in. I got it.
Hey,
probably a backhand from center or something. I missed a pass or something.
Don claims he stopped 3 of the guys on the ice.
No, I said they didn't score, Dick. There's a hell of a difference.
Well, it happens. I mean,
They didn't score. I didn't save it, but they didn't score.
sometimes you just close your eyes, right, and then the puck hits you. So.
Well, when you can watch the puck go into the corner.
So that whole thing started with our goalie shootout one night. I played goal through juniors and shit, and he started talking shit one night. He was like, "Oh, goalies are pussies because they wear all those pads." I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Let's just do a shootout." And he goes, "Fuck it, I'll take you on." And I was like, so it blew up that night immediately. Next thing you know, he's out getting shot on by the spaceman and shit.
That's awesome.
10 shots later.
10 shots, he quits. He's trying not to be
that's
tired.
it.
He was
Fuck that, I'm done.
Don't blame me, man. That's a lot of work. Pads on, yeah, that's nuts. Well, at least you did it, you know. At least you can look back at it.
It was fun. It really was.
Awesome, man.
Opened your eyes up, though.
I just.
Being a goalie's not so easy.
Have you ever curled?
I haven't.
Don't fucking
Yeah,
try.
I haven't.
Jesus Christ. I know that we're pushing them a little bit, but fuck.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
I enjoyed it.
No,
I fell on my ass, but I enjoyed it.
it was fun watching Nick do it.
It's definitely a lot harder than
you
it
think. Yeah,
looks.
yeah.
Oh, God.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that sport's pretty big back home. So.
They make it look so freaking
So you
easy.
never curled in high school or anything?
Yeah, no. I think we went to our class went to a trip or something, but I didn't go.
I thought that was like a law in Canada.
Pretty much is, man. Like everybody's done it. I mean, I've watched it live, but just haven't done it. I heard it's hard, man.
Hell, even when I was watching it, I was like, well, fuck, that ain't no big deal.
Right. They try it, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Don just doesn't have common sense. That's the whole thing.
That's
Easy.
fucking crazy.
NASCAR, hell,
I could do NASCAR.
NASCAR.
I
You
could-
just got to be a bad driver.
You couldn't even fit into the seat.
Hey.
You're like Mr. Bean sitting on the roof of the car.
I don't think either of us. I don't think you're that much smaller than me.
Oh, none of the three of us could fit in the seat.
Fuck you. Everybody's gonna go back to that. Make sure you take off your skate guards. Sons of bitches.
All right. So besides winning the cup, what's your top memory from Fort Wayne?
It'd have to be that first championship, man.
No, you can't pick winning the cup.
I can't.
Nope. Without picking winning the cup, because that's everybody's top.
You can include like bar stories and stuff and road trips.
No. Nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, man. Bobby Stewart was telling us about getting arrested. So
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, a lot of guys have, I'm sure.
Knocking in a guy's teeth with a hammer.
no, that was Terry Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But Bobby wasn't involved.
Yeah, Bobby was sitting in a room with him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Where's your least favorite place to play?
That's a big one.
My least favorite.
Not
Yeah,
not like
like-
being a player. They were like an arena.
Oh, just in a
Yeah,
an
Yeah,
arena.
what was your least favorite arena you
It'd
ever
have
you
to
ever
be
played
the
in?
1 year. I was in Laredo, Texas, and we had to play in Austin,
So there was nothing there.
and it was awful. You had to actually go outside to get dressed and then skate almost to the rink.
Ugh.
So you
Or
were
didn't they
getting
have like little trail? I think I
Yeah,
heard
it
about
was a
that, like
trailer.
trailers, and then
Yeah.
you had to walk across the parking lot and
So-
the rink.
that was
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like they used to have the little religious thing in the trailers and outside of school. Kind of that's what they did
that's
with this
what
arena.
yeah. So you literally had to skate to the rink from your dressing room.
Wow. And it was probably slow ice too, wasn't
Well, it's just and then you're outside in 100-degree weather.
it? In full pads.
Like it was. So that was by far the worst place.
What was your least favorite rink to go play in when you were in the CHL or when you were playing here?
Least favorite in Central.
I just want to see if you say what I think you're gonna say.
It should be the same.
Well, yeah.
Should be
Well,
universal.
when I was in Central League, that was Austin, so I'd have to pick that one for sure.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
right,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that was. I can't think of another one to
How
be
about
honest.
Dayton?
Well, yeah, that was the UHO and
Oh, that's right. You
IHL,
were in
is
the
it?
U.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was the IHL when I was here. I actually loved that rink. I love that rink.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That was everybody's universal. I hated.
Everybody so far has said that that's the shit place.
The only bad part was their locker room. I mean, it was tiny, but and
so
At least it was indoors.
It was a closet.
and the benches being like in the zone, kind of in the corner. That was
Yeah.
a little crazy, but I think I always had a big game there. That's why I loved it. Like I
Yeah,
always
you
had
kind
a goal or
of
two.
jumped on the gyms pretty good there.
Yeah, so I don't mind that rink when you're scoring 2-3 goals a game there. It's I tend to like it.
What about Kalamazoo?
Another rink I liked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
smaller ice.
I
a little.
haven't seen it with the scoreboard, but like the new big one, I didn't play there.
It's
But I
stupid
heard
big.
I heard it's a little too big, but that was another rink that I liked. I like those old school small rinks.
Yeah,
That's just my
Kalamazoo's my favorite away rink to go to.
yeah.
I love that old barn.
I didn't have the best of games there, but I loved playing there. I think I only scored one goal in that rink.
Really?
Yeah, in all those years. It was-
Damn.
Wow.
I think it was during the playoffs too.
Did you ever have to go play in Wheeling?
No, but I heard about it.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
That's another one a lot of guys hate, just because
I've heard
there's
that.
nobody there.
Right.
And I say it's just really hard to get up, and I don't know. We'll see if they have to
It's
go
hard
to.
get hyped up when all they have them playing themselves. It's coal miner's daughter.
Fuck you, that was my wedding song.
Keep sending us questions, guys.
Yeah, this is getting a little boring with just us.
So think about time there because
You drank the water, did you?
Back then the water was fine, so.
Or so you thought?
Well, the good thing is we lived. I didn't mind Flint actually at all.
Yeah?
I didn't.
Did you go spend time up in East Lansing and stuff with all the guys?
Yeah, well, that's when I first moved from Canada. I was playing junior. I moved there because my brother was playing for the Generals at the time. So I finished my high school in Flint, and then I played a year of junior B there, and then I actually got called up. Well, not called up, but John Cooper, actually the coach at Tampa.
Mm-hmm. He was my junior coach.
Yeah,
for a
he
little
watched
bit.
me play a bit there, and he came to me one day and said, "What are you playing junior B for?" Like, I'm just like, just happened to be here, man, just playing. So he brought me to Lansing actually in the North American League, and ended up staying there for a couple of years, and lived with billet families and stuff like that there, and I loved it. Lansing was a great spot, and good team there. It was a pretty good team. I think we made the playoffs back years there, and so I was actually in Michigan for about 4 or 5 years when I first moved from Toronto. So
Coop's a hell of a coach, isn't he?
he's awesome, man.
I love that guy
He's
to death.
awesome.
I played for the Bandits in the North American League in St.
Okay.
Louis, and he was my coach out there.
Okay.
He was awesome. Hard
St.
ass.
Louis. What team? Did you play with Rallo? Greg Rallo? Do you know that name?
I didn't play. He might have been before me.
Yeah, he
Pat
was-
Maroon. I played with Pat Maroon.
Okay, cool.
So 05, 06.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know Cooper. He's one guy I wish I would have kept in contact more.
I got his
Kinda
number. I'll give you his number.
After I went pro, we kind of lost contact for a bit, and then I'm watching NHL, and he
All of a
pops up as
sudden.
the head coach. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah, he's done okay.
yeah, no, he's awesome. He always looked out for me, and got me to one of the highest levels at junior. So a lot of respect to him for sure.
Now, North American League, the highest you got for juniors then?
Yeah, I didn't go to the USHL or anything like that.
Okay.
So, I went straight from midget AAA in Toronto right to that 1 year in junior B, and then to North American League. So
See, did you play against Toledo and stuff in the North
yeah,
American?
Cherokee, and
Did you play against Rocky at all, or is he too young?
no, he's younger.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a few years younger.
I see you had a little stint in the LNAH. What was that like?
That was nuts. And back then it was even probably worse than it is now. I think they kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but I was having a little visa issues when I was in Flint, so I had to go home for just over a month while they figured that out. And, the coach in Laval called me and said, "Hey, if you're going to be home, just come play in this league." And didn't know too much about it. Saw videos and called a few of my buddies just to ask how it was. And my first ever game, I'll never forget this. My first ever game was a total bench brawl, clearing both benches cleared, and the one guy grabs me, and I'm about to shit my pants. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go down swinging here, I guess. But the guy kind of pulled me back to the glass, and he's like, "Leo, I know your brother, so you're good." But he's like, "Just stand here, keep your eyes open, and just keep looking around, man." So I was like, "All right, thank God, man." And this guy was massive. I mean, he's twice the size of me, and so it worked out pretty cool that he knew my brother. And shouts out to my brother for being who he is, because probably saved me an ass beating. So.
Somebody wants to know when you think your nephew's going to break in.
I'm hopefully next year. I know this year kind of sucks with everything getting canceled. I think he could have had a shot to at least get a few games up there towards the end of the season, but I thought he did really well this year at training camp compared to the last year. So I think he'll have a legit shot next year, but I can see him being in the AHL in Ontario next year.
Yeah.
And then slowly.
Tell people a little bit about who your nephew is, because
Yeah,
I think
well-
a lot of people aren't familiar with Akil.
Okay, yeah. Akil Thomas is my brother's boy. He was playing in Florida as a kid, actually up until he was 10 or 11, and my brother but he knew he had to make a move from Florida. His kid was just, when I was passing to this kid at 4 or 5 years old, you could just tell this kid's gonna be a player.
Yeah.
You just knew, right? So by the time he was 11 or 12, we got him back into Toronto, and he was dominating, playing pretty well at AAA at that age, and got drafted first round to Niagara in the OHL, and
Nice.
had a great OHL career. I think this third year he had 100 points. Ended up getting drafted second round to the Kings, and just a great kid. This kid's got he started his own clothing line at like 14, I think, 13 or 14. So
Wow.
obviously, you guys watched the World Juniors. He scored a pretty big goal for Canada, and
Yeah, it was okay.
that was
It was all right.
It was special for our family because everybody was home for Christmas at that time. So
That's awesome.
everybody was watching it, and he wasn't playing. He didn't have a ton of ice that tournament, and especially that game. I think he had like 4 minutes or something that game, and happened to score probably the biggest goal he's ever going to score, unless he ends up scoring a Game 7 overtime winner for the cup or something like that.
Say that was the winning goal, wasn't it? That he scored?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
He scored the golden goal, and back home that's a huge honor, man. They put a list up of his goals, and he's with Lemieux and Crosby and these guys, and it's just at the time it felt like we were dreaming, the whole family. But definitely proud of that kid, man. He's a smart kid. He works hard. He's worked hard for everything he's got. Nothing's been given to him, and other kids could have taken that the wrong way, not getting that much ice time in a tournament, and him being an overage for that tournament. So he just put his head down, man. Ended up scoring a huge goal, and sky's the limit for him now. But he's definitely going to be a kid that works his butt off to get to the NHL. So I look forward to watching him keep shining, and hopefully his dream comes true.
So when he makes it, you flying out?
Absolutely, 100%.
That's awesome.
Unless for some reason I'm coaching and I can't make it. But
I'd still look at it.
no, 100%. I mean, I would. If it's something that makes sense and I can get it done, I'll do that for sure.
So where are you coaching now?
I wasn't making again.
Ugh.
So started 2-6-2 this season, and they decided to go a different way and ended up getting relieved. So I left just before Christmas, or no, just before December, end of November. So
Yeah.
came back here and had time to spend with my son and watch him play, and everything worked out good. I just got another job here and kind of wanted to wait it out, kind of see what comes up in the coaching scene, and not too many coaches. That's the thing with coaching, is you kind of got to wait for somebody to get fired or somebody to
get back in and break.
So
I kind of meant local. I didn't know. I thought you were coaching out at Parkview.
Oh yeah, I'm helping out with the.
That's what I didn't mean to bring up that. Fuck.
Thanks, Don.
Oh, that's all right.
Everybody's crying and shit.
Oh no. I didn't want to do that. No, just for people that didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they seen me here, and I'm sure they heard about it. But no, yeah, I was at Parkview. I got with Schrock, and I was helping out my kids' 8U team there, and doing some skills clinics there and helping Schrock out. So it all worked out better for me.
Better watch
for
it.
sure.
He'll have you there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I mean, I want youth hockey in Fort Wayne to be good too, right? So
Yep.
my son's in that
It's growing fast,
organization.
too.
It's growing. So, and I told Schrock that, I go, whatever you need help with, I'm here. As long as I'm in Fort Wayne, I'll definitely help in any way that I can.
So you're one of those guys that once your playing career ended, you stuck around for Fort Wayne.
Yeah, there's a bunch of us, man. I never noticed how many.
Oh, dude, there's a ton.
God.
There's a ton.
There's a ton, and I always bump into Fletch, and me and Ron Leaf are talking almost every day. I'm at the rink, and
Oh, Ronnie, he's a good dude, man.
he's awesome. There's
kid.
There's something special about Fort Wayne for these many
Yeah.
guys to stick around, and obviously the cost of living here is good and stuff like that. So, but for a lot of these retired players to stick around, should tell people, kind of how Fort Wayne is, man. It's an unbelievable place to live, and definitely a hockey town.
So that means that you're expected to be at our annual
Oh yeah, right. Alumni
Komets
party.
alumni party
When's that?
this summer.
Well,
Okay, that'll be-
hopefully
determined.
it's August 15th.
Oh yeah, you guys let me know, man. I'll be here.
So, being in the SP and coaching Macon, how was it coaching against my old buddy in Pensacola, old Rod?
Rod, oh, it was awesome.
I love that guy to death.
Me too. He was one of the guys who obviously I played with him here in Fort Wayne as well.
Mm-hmm.
We were close.
He was
and
a mean little bastard when he played too.
No,
wasn't he?
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. No, he's a guy that obviously being a rookie head coach, and
Yeah,
he's a guy that I leaned on, and
he'll do anything for anybody.
he was always there. You know, whenever I called him, if he didn't answer right away, he'd always call me right back, and bounced a lot of stuff off him, and learned a lot from him for sure. And he was just one of the many hockey guys that I knew that I could count on if I needed something.
So when I worked down for Pensacola, when you were there, after you and Gary both left, Rod came in and he had me start doing video coaching with him and stuff from the box or the concourse down there. And he taught me a lot about in-game changes. And that guy was a master at it.
No, he was, man.
Because I'd watch and I'd be like, okay, so here's this. And then I saw the trap come up and then I'd see the switch from the trap to the 3-2. And I'm like, how do you do that shit that quick in the middle of the period? That guy taught me all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great hockey mind, man. There's when you're in that kind of coaching thing, you want as many of those hockey guys or hockey minds around you and or at your disposal. So,
have you gotten in with Benny much at all, or? Have you talked to-
Benny's another guy who even when I left Macon to come back, I'd go see him in legs at the rink and just say, hey, I'm bored. I'm gonna come by the rink, watch practice, and come shoot the shit with you guys. So. Those coaches are all the same, man. We're constantly learning too every year. And I wasn't Scotty Bowman, so I'm always my ears are always open to hear different things from other coaches. And Benny's a guy that and legs were guys that I could just go, chat with them for half an hour just about hockey. And I'm sure they wanted a new face in their room for a little bit to kind of bounce stuff off me as well. So.
They take you to breakfast over at Sunrise?
No, we went to lunch one time. I just can't remember what it was. Some Italian place. Got some pasta and stuff like that. So
Benny and pasta? I never would have guessed.
So yeah, Benny, I played against him too the one year. We actually beat them in the finals.
Yeah. He was in Flam.
Yeah. So we kind of have a little
partying in the locker room with his dad and Benny.
Benny.
Across the street.
That's true. Yeah.
I remember Bruce was hanging out, drinking with us all night long till like 2:30 in the morning. He was hanging out with Dunner and us in the trainer's room, and it's like, oh man, his son was across. And he just
Fuck,
got beat.
I gotta get my son.
Yeah, he'll learn eventually.
Right.
It's getting quiet on.
Bill wants to know how the family's doing.
Family's doing well. Just before I came over here, because we're all on house arrest, so I just took my son out and we're doing a little workout in the garage and I'm doing some stick handling stuff. And everybody's healthy though, so the family's doing well. They're off of school till May, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely
As of
be
today.
we'll be hanging out a bunch, but all healthy, so I'm happy with that.
We're all going to be looking for shit to do by the end of that, right?
I know.
Somebody did send a message and ask, who is your favorite teammate you've ever played with?
That's hard, man. I've had so many good teammates, man.
I guess we can make it, what's your most memorable teammate? Memorable personality, maybe?
Yeah. Fuck, that's so hard, man. Like, because you guys don't even know, like, our team here in Fort Wayne, it was probably the tightest group I've ever been a part of, man. And that's from Chalker to McMillan to Warner. All these guys
There we go.
are buddies that, like,
Give us a good Mac story, because guys don't know, but we have him next weekend.
Mac is.
Thanks for giving it away, Dick.
So, well, I was going to announce it tonight anyway, so.
You just did.
No, we weren't.
Congratulations. We got Brad McMillan next week, by the way, guys.
No, I'm like that group, man. We had everything, man. We had the asshole on the team. We had the Joker. McMillan was by far the funniest guy in the locker room. He he messed with everybody, man. I
He
remember.
sucked at ping pong, though. Just tell him.
Yeah, he thought he was like a ping pong like champion and stuff, but
He's watching too. So.
I mean, I wouldn't play, but I'd watch a couple times, and I think was it PC or somebody would just dummy him all the time. So
Shaffy was the ping pong master.
that guy was a wizard with the stick and just a wizard with ping pong, right? Like
Hand eye.
it was
He would
nuts.
serve from underneath the table. He would
Oh,
drop the
Jesus.
ball down, and
You wouldn't even see it,
what he was
yeah,
going to do.
yeah.
He'd go boom, and he'd drop the ball down, and he would bring his paddle up over the top of the table and do a serve, and it would just curve off of the table.
Yeah, I could. I like those guys were A division ping pong, man. I was fucking F for. I wasn't.
So you were as good at ping pong as we were at being a goalie.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I stayed away. I was a spectator. I'd warm up in the hallway and stuff and watch them, but no, Mick Millen, he was definitely the Joker. He was the glue to the team. Obviously, being the guy that always took care of his teammates and made everybody feel
Safe.
comfortable, safe, and so.
Yeah, he said he's got some stories for us.
Oh no, he does, man. He was awesome, man.
I
Like,
miss
that whole
those.
team was.
I miss those old days when they do the PC or Mac things on the video
Yeah,
boards and
yeah.
stuff.
They gotta start throwing some of me out there. Just saying. Maybe,
You can get into the
maybe.
mattress race.
Yeah. Oh man.
No, hey, there's an idea. You three guys need to run the frickin'. We'll take the map.
I don't think we can-
We don't have- we don't have that.
No, we'll just have you guys try to run down the ice.
We don't have that much time.
I don't think I can fit in the damn thing.
Hold on,
Oh.
hold on. They're gonna exit at the benches and come out for the second time out.
I
want to
shoot. I want to shoot fucking t-shirts out of the gun. That's what I want to do.
He's gonna kill a baby.
I swear to God, one time. I just want to shoot. I just want to shoot.
Like
him one
he
time.
really said the mattress race. That's fucked up, man.
That's because we always make fun of it every time.
I'm thinking about I'm thinking more of a highlight, and something I did back in the day. If we can find one, I don't know.
What do we put on
There's a
there?
few of them out there.
No, that'd be cool.
What was your best tilt? You got a couple of tilts here, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple. Not any really good ones though. Yeah, I don't know why.
So no
I should have
recycling
fought more.
scores.
Like now that I'm retired, like I definitely should have fought more.
Cocksucker. At least with ping pong, there's no skate guards. Sons of bitches.
Nice.
I'm never gonna live that down ever.
That's true. Who does the video stuff?
A lot of it is Scott and Justin.
Justin?
Yeah, Justin does a lot of it.
I know Justin watches.
Didn't Shane say that he
Does the mattress? Came up with the
came
mattress
up with
race.
the mattress race? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, if the interns
But they
wouldn't
improved on- but they
have
improved
got hurt during the damn goalie races the year before, we wouldn't have
yeah.
to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, they were going way out of bounds.
Yeah, but it was entertaining.
It was entertaining till the guy gets
Gets
a
a
concussion
gash.
pretty much from running with a big goalie mask on his head.
Next. Sign a waiver next. Who gives a shit?
All right, so what's a good Mac story? You got to tell us a Mac story.
He'll tell you next week, man. I don't even think I have like a crazy one or anything like that. I think you guys seen kind of what he did on the ice, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he wasn't a guy who was reckless away from the rink or anything like that. So I don't have like,
So you said he had an asshole on the team.
man, you guys are killing me.
Okay,
said
people,
it.
you don't have to say the name. Just some initials.
Just say
How's
the
that?
asshole did
Okay.
this or the asshole.
Yeah,
did
but
that.
even though he's like I can be an asshole at times, you know what I mean? But
Every team needs
So
at least
can Don.
one. They say.
But
Yeah.
the one guy who I hope he's probably not watching, but
Well, probably not.
he
Go ahead.
He's not around here anymore, is what you're saying.
no,
He
he's
doesn't live in
around.
Florida.
Yeah,
just
no,
us-
he's here.
it's
He's
just
here,
us
and
Oh, shit.
I
it's Boosh
love
then, right?
him too,
Oh, shit.
and I love him too. And
Yeah, he wants to be on the show, too.
But the thing with him too is he was just a fucking super competitive guy, man, and
Yeah.
he's a winner. I mean,
So you were here with the
Boucher.
Superman punch?
Superman punch.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, I was on the ice for that actually. I was
God,
on the
that
ice
was
for that.
awesome.
No, man, the guy is awesome, but that's why we had such a special team when we won those championships because
Everybody had a role.
everybody had a role.
Yeah.
Boucher was the guy that would scream in my face if I did something wrong in practice. And
Didn't he punch a defenseman?
listen,
Yeah.
Boucher, he did during a game in Muskegon. It was fucking awesome. But that's the kind of guy he was, and I loved him for that. I loved that he pushed all of us in practice, and you know, he'd probably fight somebody every year in practice.
Yeah.
Or almost every month. Just because he was that
Just that ultra
competitive,
competitive.
and
Yeah.
we all were. So if
Apparently it worked.
no, it did.
I
He held you to a higher standard. Yeah.
No, and it was awesome. That's why like that group was like why it was crazy what we had. Like it was because that would be going on, and then you'd have our captain, the best captain I've ever played for and leader, and Chalk laughing at the whole thing and like and like getting the guys going, saying, let's fucking go here. Like
Yeah.
and then you got a guy mouthing off with Boosh, or we're going at it, and then like 10 seconds later, man, we're all hugging each other, or we're going to have a beer, or so those are the kind of teams that win, man. And that's a reason why I didn't go to Europe or anything like that. It was I had so many offers from Europe, and I was just so happy here, man, with this group. And it was probably the best decision, man. I won three championships in 4 years. So
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I remember one game we were up in Kalamazoo, and I can't remember who their goalie was. Was that Joel back then? Still, was it Marty?
Probably.
He played forever up there.
Yeah.
But him and Boosh were in the creases, and it was overtime. It was when I used to sweep the ice for the
Oh
shootouts,
yeah.
and they were shooting a puck at each other.
I remember that.
And Boosh kept sitting there doing that with his glove and mouthing off to him, and you could see Martin start skating out, and you could just see Boosh be like,
I'm ready.
"No," I was just like, "Oh shit!"
I think that's the only thing I wish I would have saw was him go like toe to toe with somebody. I don't think I saw him or in the Bloomington game go down and Superman punch a kid, but
That
I
was
would have
so
loved
awesome.
to watch him just go center ice, and
Yeah.
because for as small as Bush was, the kid was an animal, man. Like he was. I forget what it was. It was on the jumbotron when they put him as what's that guy's name? Shermanator.
Oh, the Shermanator, yeah.
So they put the side by side, and he lost his shit. I think he went into the room after that game and was just losing on whoever put that on the board.
Scott Sprode.
So it was all fun, but that was one instance where I was like, Bush was livid, man.
That's great.
But then we were all dying because he actually looks exactly like
He
him.
did.
So
You know, now that I picture it, it's so
it
true.
was cool, man. Yeah. It was just
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know, man. When I saw him take off again that Bloomington game, I was sitting there going like, "The fuck is Boosh?"
oh yeah.
Oh no! Just I couldn't believe he did that. I mean, full on launch, feet off the ground.
Yeah.
No, that guy had
was
he had a
awesome.
mean streak, man. Like I said, he was an ultra competitor, man. Like he wanted to win, and he would do anything it took to win. So
He just gave us the thumbs up.
any
Nick did.
Yeah.
any you know, you want to play with a player like that or a teammate like that any day. So
I figured there'd be a lot more questions here.
So, Larry,
It's
you've been
quiet.
with the team for quite some time. Do you have any stories about Leo?
You know, I just remember you just always where the puck gonna be. Always a nose to get to the net. When you turn, you always or it's any guys that want to be in front of the net. You always afraid to get your nose in and get in front of the net, even if you aren't the biggest guy.
no.
But you know, and then just seeing you flying down because you go, oh, it's Leo down the wing, and you see something good. And I mean, real good at flipping a pass quick. You know.
Yeah, I mean, whole game. Like growing up, man, I knew I wasn't gonna be the biggest guy, but I was gonna hit everything if I had to, or block as many shots as I had to, or do whatever I had to do to win.
That's
Just
something
like
that
half of
teams
these
now
guys.
don't like. The one thing that I've noticed in the past few years is we don't have the guys that block shots. Like with the teams that you were playing on, you had 6 or 7 guys on
Wow.
the team that were doing it consistently.
Well, hell,
every
even
night.
when-
I mean, we blocked probably 20 shots a night with guys who were sacrificing their bodies. And I mean, you were out there a lot on penalty kills, and and you were always there, right up in the defenseman's face and trying to block shots. I think the one shift you had, you stopped 2 or 3 shots in one shift.
Well, when you had Guy Dupuis' old ass laying down and top blocking 10 shots in a game, the team was bought in.
No, that's what I mean. Like, it was. I've never been on a team like that where we had so many guys just buy in, and we had 80-point guys blocking. Like, it was just unheard of. Like, you have old guys like oldest guy like Guy.
Yeah.
Out on the ice 40 minutes before practice working on stuff. Like, when I walked into that room, I was just like, it helped me in my career so much seeing that. Seeing like a 30, whatever old he was, 38 out there 40 minutes before practice working on edge work or whatever. Like, that pushed me to be that second guy in the ice right behind him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it helped me. Like, I had career years here in Fort Wayne. So,
was Guy as quiet in the room as what he is nowadays out away from hockey?
Yeah, he kind of was, man. Like, it's weird because in the room, guys like Brad and us and like the younger guys, we were fucking yapping all the time. It was like our quiet leader was Guy, and Chalker was like the coach as well, and kind of mentored everybody. So, but yeah, he just showed everything on the ice, man. He was one of those leaders who just showed it on the ice, and Chalker was like that guy that was in the room, making sure everybody was on the same page and stuff like that.
What about PC? How was it playing with him?
That line was the best line I played with. Me, PC, and Sean O'Connor.
Oh, I forgot about Sean.
That was a special line, man. They called us the money line back then.
Mm-hmm.
We always had our green jerseys on at practice, and PC I see all the time now, still at the rink, and
watched him play a few times this year.
Super skilled, man. Like,
he still is.
No,
45 years old.
Like, it's crazy. Like, the guy made the NHL. And he's just a great human being too, man. He was no ego with him or any of those guys back then. So
it's fun to watch him because he plays with Benny on Thursdays.
Yeah. I was supposed to go and start playing there actually, but
no, unfortunately. But some kid, I shouldn't say little, bounced off of him this year, and you could just see him smile with that little smirk that he has.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't, because the kid turned around and like bowed up at him, and I was like, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with those leagues too, man, is you can get in a lot of trouble with some of these kids that want to prove something. Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, we've seen a couple instances out there this year.
For sure.
I subbed twice in that league this year on Thursdays, and I was like, no, this is stupid.
Shock said overtime game winner, first pro game I ever played in Ohio, best dressing room in the league.
Who said that? Kaylee?
Rocky.
Nice.
I don't know if he said that you scored.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he did. I can't remember that.
I think it was probably his first.
It's probably his
first pro game, and you got the overtime winner. Yeah.
Was that the game that he went and fought that guy when Mac told him not to?
Oh, I don't know.
That big 6'6" guy. From it could have been.
I remember Brad told me that last night. He's like, I had told that little scrawny bastard not to go up and whatever you do, don't fight this guy. And he goes, sure enough, I turn around, and there he is.
Shocky's that guy goes 100 miles an hour at everything he does, man. That's just how he is, man. So
he's probably one of the nicest people I know, though.
That's what I mean.
I took him to Chicago last week because or a couple weeks ago now, I guess. He got inducted, right, in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So we went over Friday night to Chicago for him to coach the Spaceman. And then me and him drove back together afterwards and got home at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And did the Hall of Fame thing, then drove back Sunday.
No, he's awesome, man. Like
he was wide awake. I was like, Jesus, man, how do you sleep?
Again, it just goes back to like the kind of talent and people you guys have here at Fort Wayne. It's unheard of, man. And I was actually with him last night, and I forgot to congratulate him, but the guy did an unbelievable job with that Spaceman team this year. I think I was telling you guys that as I walked in, and I'm happy to see that. Any of my old teammates that are still here and, doing stuff like that, it's awesome to see, man. And I got their back 100%.
Did you work with the Spaceman at all this year with him?
No, I didn't. Towards the end of the year, Shrocky's the guy who kind of reached out to me too, here and there, just to get my opinion on a few things or pick my brain. So I was gonna actually go out with them after that first round in the playoffs. We were kind of just talking about some system stuff, and just ended up then going. I didn't go out, but I saw that they won that first game, so I called them and said, "Hey, man, you just got one more." And I think they
that
ended up
was
losing.
you that you was talking to in the car.
I think they ended up losing the next two, man. But
Yeah, but they were tough.
yeah, and that's what we talked about. I said, man, it's winning that first game is probably the easiest. Sometimes it's getting that clinching game, and but he can keep his head up, man. That's an unbelievable job that he did. So
You know, the coolest thing I saw with him was that night after we won the first game over there against that team. That was the first game. That's the only game they lost in the division all year.
nice. Yeah.
When they beat them that night. And, of course, the kids were, above the clouds.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. And we got on the bus, and I remember he just sat in his seat and never turned around. He just sat there, and you just hear him say, he goes, I don't want anybody on social media. I don't want anybody doing anything. He goes, you won one game, but that's it. You didn't do anything at all. He goes, and I guarantee you, come tomorrow, this is going to be a different squad. And you can just see all those kids just stop.
Yeah, man.
And they
he
listen.
knows, man. He knows what it takes.
Yeah.
That guy's been around, and
But it was just cool to see how those kids, they're what, 18 years
18,
old
yeah,
average.
yeah.
Just pure respect to the guy was
oh,
it was
100%.
awesome. It was really awesome
To
to
put
see.
that team fast together and get that season, that first season, like they did. It's not anybody can do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's got to be
Yeah.
somebody who
Agreed.
that gains the respect from other players and does things the right way off the ice and during practice and everything, man. So kudos to Schrocky, man.
You even let him shoot at us for a while. Well, you two. I went with the big boys. that was even dumber. Well,
I don't know I don't remember getting into it, but what made you really want to get into hockey when you were a kid?
he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Well, yeah.
He didn't curl. So they were gonna deport him if he didn't take hockey or curling. So.
Yeah, no, it was one. Yeah, I am Canadian, but I think it was like my brother's 6 years older than I am. So when I was about 3, maybe, I just kind of followed him around everywhere, man. And then we had like a big outdoor rink, literally like right in my backyard, just outside my backyard. So I was kind of out there every day and started skating. I was like, I'd go to public skating probably every day, just on my own, or skate at outdoor rinks or skate on the ponds. And I never like held a stick for like the first 2 years, and I just skated. So I think that's why like my biggest asset, I think, was my skating.
Yeah. Your edge work was awesome.
Yeah, like it was just because that's something I just worked on as a kid, and then played a little basketball and baseball and stuff growing up. But hockey, it had me, man. I fell in love with it, and diehard Leaf fan, so I watched every Leaf game. And
A
it was
lifetime
actually
of
it's
disappointment.
embarrassing to say this, but as a kid, I'd like fucking start crying when they lost playoff series. Like I was just so in that game and a Leaf fan and hockey, and I'd be a rink rat, and I loved it, man. So it kind of took off from there, and fell in love with the game, man, and then looked back.
So, as a Leaf fan, what's your view on the coaching changes here?
Oh, you mean like Babcock?
Yeah. Were you ever around Babs at all or not?
I wasn't. I heard a
Probably
lot
better
of
that
good
way.
stories about him and a lot of bad. So, but
If you know
I mean-
Mike Commodore, you'll never hear a good thing.
I know that's crazy. Actually. The stuff I hear or I read him saying, man, it's
God,
it's
it's
nuts.
classic,
But
though.
he actually coached my other nephew, so Akil's younger brother. He did a practice for them, and from what I heard, that guy ran like probably the best practices of any NHL coach. And at the time when he came to Toronto, I knew he was going to take the job because whatever coach comes to Toronto wins that Stanley Cup for that team.
Yeah.
Guaranteed legend. Like, you know what I
I'll
mean?
never pay
So
for dinner there again.
I knew like him taking that job. I knew he was going to take it. I knew like he wanted that. Like that was his ultimate goal, was to win the Stanley Cup there. And Keith, obviously, I knew him from some other junior players and stuff like that. But he's been putting in his work, and so for me, I guess it was time for a change. I mean, I don't really have anything else more to say about it. I thought they played well under Keith.
I think they played a lot better.
You know, they had their ups and downs too, but I mean, the NHL's a hard league, man. You're not going to come in there and run through teams and
no.
Win or lose, I'm always going to be a fan. You know, I'm one of the diehards that gets a little crazy when they're losing.
You don't have to tell me shit. I was a Blues fan my entire life.
Yeah, but
I finally got to see it,
yeah.
but I waited
You guys
my
got your
entire
cup,
lifeline.
Waiting since '67, man. So.
Yeah, me too. Until last year.
So what do the Leafs need? What do you think that they need to improve themselves?
They need Leo to.
You know what? Not to I would have been the perfect kind of player for these guys, man. They need more.
You already were.
They need more grit.
They need more grit.
You already were on film.
Right.
See, we haven't even mentioned that he was a Maple Leaf on film.
Yeah, on film. That was awesome, by the way. But yeah, no, they need a few pieces. They need probably 2 more defensemen and some more grit. I thought the Clifford
goaltending maybe little help.
Yeah, I think getting Campbell is huge.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's a perfect backup. I think Freddie's good. Before they stopped it, he was on fire. I mean, he played.
The whole team was on. I mean, they were rolling. Yeah. They really were.
I think the Clifford trade was good. He brings that grit and stuff like that. But if they had a guy like Tom Wilson, man, it would be a wrap.
Fucking Wilson.
If the Leafs had a guy like that,
they need a Clifford, guy like that.
They need a guy that can actually play top 6 minutes, but who's an asshole to play against him. Will actually go in there and hit.
I hate Tom Wilson, but I'm a Blues fan, so
that's the only thing I don't. That's the only thing I don't like about how they're building these teams. They're drafting 5'8", 5'9" kids left and right. I mean,
Tomas Hertl and all them. They're not very big, and they're not going to go in and get dirty.
No, and I understand the game's a lot faster now and stuff like that. But these playoff hockey, you need when you're going up against Boston and these teams.
Well, look at St. Louis and Boston last year. Look how nasty that series was. And then St. Louis killed San Jose in the Western Conference.
Man. So they're not built for playoff hockey. I don't think so. I think that's the moves that I would do, or I think they're
gain a little size,
gain some size and a little grit. And I mean, you have 4 guys that can put up 80 points. I don't think you need any more skill. I think you just need to find those
they
holes.
Got Marner and Matthews. They're fine.
Tavares and Nylander.
Yeah.
You're good up front. I just think you need to.
Yeah, your top 3 lines are loaded.
Fill in those spots and get some.
Yeah, we're getting a couple of questions now. Advice for young players.
Okay.
Here comes the coach Leo.
Yeah, my honestly, and I tell this to my kid too all the time is, hockey's a sport, right? So you can't play this thing forever. So my advice to a little kid is, if you love hockey and you got to put in the extra work, you got to work hard, you got to train, you got to eat right, you got to stay away from bad company growing up. But the main thing to me is I tell the kids is you definitely have to have a backup plan. So take school serious, have that backup plan for if hockey doesn't work out. Injuries happen, man. I've had a buddy who was projected to go first round, blew out his knee, didn't really have the backup plan, but he was young enough to, in a couple of years kind of take that road and fix it and stuff like that. So I would do that before you get too old, is just have a plan. School's more important than hockey. Hockey's always going to be there. So it's always take stuff outside of the rink or away from hockey for sure.
Any current or any player on the current Komets that you think played a lot like you?
I would say he's way better than skill wise Sidlowski.
Yeah,
but that's one guy that I actually played with when I got called up. And,
yeah,
he's a kid who was tougher too. Obviously, he fought more and stuff like that. But I see a lot of me in him too. And he's a buddy of mine too. So
good kid.
But he's awesome. He was a guy that when I came back that year and super skilled, man. That kid's he's so good.
His hands are ridiculous.
He's good. So I mean, I don't get to watch a lot of games last year at the hockey, so I don't know. I know the roster, but I didn't get to see them actually play. But Sid that year, I came back. Kyle Thomas was here, and Perlini and those guys.
Whatever happened to Kyle? Did he
I
go
think he's
overseas?
still-
No, he's still
No.
he's in the
Is he?
Yeah,
Reading?
Is it Reading? I know he was in
Somewhere
KZoo
around
the
there,
year
Reading or
before.
somewhere over there.
Where is
yeah.
it?
I think he was in
Kyle
Utah and then
Oh.
KZoo. Like he's been
He was in
around.
Kalamazoo for
That's
a
whatever
year at
HL
least.
team he was with, right? Because he signed
Yeah,
like a two-way,
yeah.
I think. So
God, that kid
He,
had
got,
a
he was
lot
he
of
was
promise
hurt a
too.
lot. Yeah, he got hurt a lot over the last 2 years.
So Powers or White Castle?
Jesus.
Wow. Powers or
Coney
Coney
Island.
Island?
Coney Island all day.
Really?
Absolutely. Finally.
That was
Wooster?
just Wooster. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Woof.
Worcester and San Diego.
Woof.
But yeah, no, that was another group too, man. That was special that
15,
year.
16.
That year that I came back, man, and that was probably the worst decision I've ever made was leaving,
Yeah.
going back to the SPHL at that time.
Who'd you Columbus?
I was in Mississippi that year.
That's right.
was-
River Kings.
Yeah, so I was the captain that year, and then Gary obviously was back here and going through the injury bug and all that stuff, and called me back up, and I think I went on like that 2-week road trip. We went to Rapid City, Colorado, and then Alaska and stuff like that, and but that was another group where that was probably the closest I've been to those past Comet teams,
Right.
So, and I knew that, and I should have like just called my team in the SP and said
Sorry.
sorry, because at the time too I was always away from my family and my son, so I wanted to be
Here.
closer and here, and man, that's the decision that just I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely should have stayed here that year, and I think Gary wanted me to, and I just decided that I was the captain of that SP team and wanted to be. I didn't want to be that captain who just left it,
Right.
kind of ditched my teammates and stuff there. We had a great group there as well, so
That was a gritty team that year.
yeah, no, it was awesome, man.
Was
Like,
Kaminsky your coach down there?
no, Derek Landmaster.
Oh.
Yeah,
Where was
Kometsky was in Louisiana the year my
Uh-huh.
first year in the SP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
another great guy, man.
Killer.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, I know how the room was in 2012 when your first year in the SP in Pensacola. What was it like for you in the room with Gator and Bergie and all those guys down there?
it was awesome, man. Like the one thing I was not worried about, but I was going into a new league where those guys were there a couple years, and
Yeah.
I was kind of walking in as a player assistant and the captain already. So I took those guys aside, Salvis and Bergen and those guys, and said, listen, man, like, this is your team. You guys have been here. I'm just trying to come help in any way that I can. Like, just be the ultimate teammate. I'm not here to, like, run the show and take over something you guys have built over the last couple of years. And they respected that, and we had a great team, man. Like, that's another team that
It was fun.
It was fun, man. We knew at training camp we were winning that championship there.
Yep.
Like, our team was stacked, and
Was it McKinnon that was in goal that year?
yeah.
With that fucking
We had
backwards
him,
hat
and
all
then
the time.
Kalecki, who's the coach of Fayetteville right now,
Yeah.
who's doing a really good job there.
Yeah,
He was
they
our
were stout
backup.
this year. They could have won the cup this
Oh
year.
yeah. I thought they would have, man. He did
Him or
an
Huntsville, probably.
unbelievable job. So, but yeah, no, we kind of knew right away, like, that team's special, man. You kind of know once you're on a team, you're gonna go far, or
Yeah.
your team's gonna be legit. So
Who was the personality in the room on that one? Because I could see Bergen or maybe Jeremy Gates.
Gates for sure. Salvis, all the captains. So Salvis was our assistant. Bergie was our assistant, and my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Who
right now. I
was the
can't-
captain that year?
I was.
Well,
the
you were the captain, yeah, but
I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. But again, we
was
had
it BB?
No, he wasn't
Brett
there
Beebe?
when I was there.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, but I forget this kid's name because he was there and then he left right after they won it. And then we had Festa there.
Yeah, Festo was nuts.
Yeah. So, no, it was
Who's
just,
the fighter in that one? Was that Butel? Or was
no,
he
he was
after
there
you?
after. Yeah, he was there when I went to Mississippi. So,
Talking about Pensacola.
Yeah.
You had Ryan Selvish, you had Ron Kramer, and you
Kramer.
Had,
Kramer was a little guy, but
He
he was
was
feisty.
tough.
Boots, yeah, there we go, Boots. He was a smaller guy, but that guy was an animal, man. And then Sicard would have some.
God, Daryl
Pretty good
Sicard was
fits.
nuts, wasn't he? Holy shit.
He's another guy too. When we won in Macon, he was one of
Yeah.
our captains. And,
The SP was that was a rough fucking league that year.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was a rough league. Louisiana was nasty.
yeah, I think every team had two.
Oh,
heavyweights, man. Pisano was in.
Who was it in the finals? Was it? It wasn't Macon then. They weren't there yet.
No, my
Was it Fayetteville or Huntsville?
the year after Pensacola won it. Who won it?
I'm trying to think of who we played that year. That's right, you weren't there.
No, yeah,
We won the championship.
I can't remember who won it. It might have been No, it wasn't Huntsville, because Macon won it the second year.
Yeah.
Because it was my first year as an assistant in Macon. We won it. So
What was it like living
Knoxville,
in Macon?
maybe. Yeah,
Ice
Knoxville.
Bears.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
What was it like living in Macon?
It wasn't bad at all.
Close enough to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's like an hour drive. You're about 45 minutes from the airport, and Macon, actually, it's a small town, but downtown's really nice. It's like an old school. A lot of old musicians and jazz players were born there, so it's got a lot of history there. And I loved it downtown. Like it's
It's neat.
neat, man. They got great food.
Sucks to drive through there certain times of the day.
No, yeah,
Jesus.
it's bad. I mean, it's one of the, if you're driving to Florida and you need gas, you kind of just hop off in Macon and get your gas and kind of,
When I was coming back from Florida, I did that.
yeah.
That's where I went.
That's
It's
how it
either
was.
Macon
but,
or Valdosta. One
yeah,
of the two.
but like I live pretty close to downtown, so I loved it. I loved it. It wasn't bad at all.
You could walk everywhere,
Yeah,
and it's safe.
yeah.
When you were there, did you have the shit that you had to deal with, like in Pensacola, where you couldn't get on the ice?
Yeah,
for
that
fucking
was
weeks?
that was the main thing too. That was being there as an assistant for 2 years. I kind of got used to it. So when I took over as head, I was kind of
knew.
on top of it and knew what was going to happen. But
Did you ever set the boys up to go to one of the big NHL arenas or anything? To
no,
work?
I wish I could. But we had, luckily, Columbus is an hour and 40 minutes from there, and they have
Yeah.
2 sheets of ice. So we'd always drive there. If we had like a whole week off, we'd go there at least twice a week. Rent events and go practice, or we'd drive down to Atlanta. But a lot of times we'd go to Columbus just to not to deal with the traffic and stuff in Atlanta. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Like real bad.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Like you're in there at 10:30 at night, and it's
I drive through there. I drive through there a lot, and I don't hit it before 11. Period.
no, it's.
I'm
nuts.
driving through the middle of the night.
Yeah, I drive in the middle of the night. I won't go through there during the day.
Nope.
I ran through there in the afternoon and never got stopped.
You're one of the
Lucky
few.
you, man.
Didn't you go around the bypass though?
I did.
Yeah, go
smart way
downtown
to do
once.
it, Yeah,
I always go
Get on
straight
285
I always go
here.
straight down.
you got to take like that 285, man.
Yep,
and go
285.
around.
As long as the
Yeah.
bridge don't collapse on you.
Yeah, that was nuts too.
Yeah. God, you can tell we all drive through there a lot.
So, Steven wants to know if coaching in Fort Wayne would ever be an option.
Absolutely. I mean, I love it. I love it here. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But they got their guy now. He's doing. I thought he did an unbelievable job his first year. And
Man, he
I
dealt
mean,
with
if
some
that
shit too.
Well, what sucks is they were just starting to gel.
No,
just
yeah,
starting
yeah.
to play. I
they
mean,
went through their little ups and downs,
yeah.
and
I mean, it was actually turning around.
Turning
the
around,
goalie
man.
situation straightened up a little. I mean,
and a
it's
lot.
so frustrating.
What people don't realize too is, as a coach, or there's a lot of stuff going on, man. There's a lot of movement that's out of your control, and you got to do what you got to do to kind of fill in those holes, man. But people have no idea, like the kind of chaos and stuff that you got to go through on an everyday basis, or how one thing can just switch and turn on you in a few hours, and then you're kind of scrambling and trying to fix it. So.
Especially with call-ups.
No, yeah, that's what I mean.
Dealing
like
with
just
two
injuries,
NHL
call-ups,
teams.
2 NHL teams. So it's tough, man. But obviously, if that came aboard where they asked me to come coach, it would be a no-brainer for sure.
So, kind of, where would you, your goal for, like, where you'd love to be
Coaching?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm done playing, so I still have that dream of making the NHL somehow. If it's a video coach, you know what I mean? Like,
Scout or
I
anything
can
like
still
that?
win a Stanley Cup, but it's going to be as a coach.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of way that I think is, okay, I might not. My kid dreams over of hoisting one as a player. but I can still my way up coaching or doing whatever I can and still get my name on the cup or get a Stanley Cup ring. So that's kind of the way I
That'd be pretty awesome.
attack stuff, man. And it was one of me that actually said that. It was, man, I can't win one as a player anymore. And that stuck with me once he said that. I was like, okay, well,
Warner
I can
says,
win
hey.
one. What's up, Warren's? He's my buddy, man. Warren's, he's good stuff, man.
I've been working on getting his ass on this show for a long time, but he's always working.
I'll get him,
Didn't
man.
they shut down?
No, I don't think so. The
He's
Steel
probably
Mill-
got time now.
I think they shut down.
Brandon, did you guys shut down? You better answer. I know you're watching.
I haven't heard anything about them shut down.
I haven't heard that SDI shut down at all.
That's an expensive thing when they shut down.
Sure, everything. It's crazy, man. Like, it's
It was stupid. I was in
nuts,
Virginia
man.
the other day, and it was fine. I drove through West Virginia, who didn't have a case until after I left the state.
I wonder
I
who
was in
gave
the
it to them.
safest spot. Hey, fucker. Get to Indiana, and it's dead.
Yeah, I drove to Kansas, just outside of Kansas City, and up the whole way except for gas. No traffic.
No
Oh,
shutdown.
It was
nothing,
great. It was great.
SDI still rolling.
No, okay.
Yeah, they don't shut down until they have to.
Man, you got to get out there and play with those guys.
I
You
know.
gotta
I
get out
will.
there and play
You
next
know,
year.
Warner. I talk to Warner about it all the time, and PC, and I'll definitely do. If I'm here next season, I'm definitely going to do it. So, I know I'll be out there this summer with the guys once the rink opens up again. I'll be out there with them.
I wish they'd have state wars again this year, but I guess it's every other.
Oh yeah.
Were you up here at all for that when they did that?
Yeah, I played it in 1 year. The roller, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it 1 year.
Man, that was nuts. I went. Pat Maroon was up here last summer during that.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And
Yeah,
I remember a little bit of it. It was
Yeah.
fun.
I just remember him. He actually took a kid in the locker or in the pro
He
shop
outfitted
and
him
bought
completely.
him. That's
Yep.
awesome, man. Yeah.
That is a good dude, man.
Yeah.
They got that National Roller Hockey League is starting up.
Yeah, I seen that Port Huron. Actually, my old junior coach is the GM of the Port
Sid
Huron
is
team.
supposed to play for the Detroit team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he got drafted.
He got
didn't
drafted.
You can be 37, 38 years old and play roller hockey. I mean,
Yeah, I think me and a couple of the boys were commenting on it because I didn't know. Like Jeff Blum, he's my he's my old junior coach as well. And I saw the interview with him, and I think it was me, Chris Vernarski, if you guys remember him, and
Yep.
Donnie Margetti. We were
Oh, Jesus.
wow.
and Lovell, Jamie Lovell. We were all like, man, we're in. Kind of commenting on it. So.
Man, what's Jamie doing nowadays?
I actually saw him last summer at the rink in Fraser in Michigan.
Oh, Fraser.
He's
Land.
doing well. He's doing like off-ice stuff with kids too. And,
Good.
He was another guy. And when he was here, we were pumping him, bring him over and get him a championship, man. He was another solid teammate, man.
Steve Shannon.
Does the name do anything?
Steve Shannon.
Frank just
Frank just said-
yelled out, Steve Shannon.
No context, just
That name does sound familiar.
Frank, little
just
context
text me
here.
my phone, man.
Tourette's or something. Just Tourette's or something.
Just say anything.
Steve Shannon.
Motherfucker!
I got hit in the head a couple of times, man. So I just text me, Frank, and let me know. The name does familiar though.
That's another show we're working on too, is a coach's show.
Yeah. Coaching the Metro Jets.
Yeah,
Oh, that's how I know that name.
I had so many. I have a crazy story about Joe Jets too. Holy shit.
Well, tell it.
Well, come on.
They're,
Come on, you better hold out.
Well, it goes back to like the racist stuff, man, that I dealt with. So
Really?
we
Up there?
yeah, man. This was junior. This is when I was in Flint, junior B, and playing against Metro, and they had this kid literally shadow me the whole game and like calling me the N word every shift, man. Every time I was on
Really?
the ice. So I looked at the ref, during the whistle, I went over to him, said, "Man, this guy's calling me the N word like every shift. I'm gonna lose it on him," kind of thing. And he's like, "All right." So it happened again, and I turned around and we had to wear cages, so
Yeah.
I cross-checked this kid square in the face, and like his cage was actually touching his nose, like cut his nose. So then
That's awesome.
he drops like a ton of bricks, and then I look over at the ref, and he just has the biggest smile on his face. Doesn't call anything. So
Nothing to see. Keep
No, yeah.
playing.
so then I'm going off the ice now, and this kid's parents and their whole fans were just dropping N bombs, losing it on me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So then I come outside of the rink now after the game, and and I got all my teammates there, and I'm waiting for this guy. Like I'm waiting for this player to come out because I was gonna probably grab him, grab him in the parking lot and stuff like that. But he came walking out with his teammates, and it kind of died down after that. But that was the first time I came over from Canada and dealt with it. So I had no idea, man. Like at the time, like your blood's boiling, man. You don't know what to do, and instead of just kicking the shit out of the guy in the ice, which I tried to, but he kind of turtled after and stuff like that. But I didn't know what was going to happen after that game, man. Like if their parents were going to come after me or anything like that.
Don knows that pretty well.
Fuck parents. I think it was the Metro.
No, it was Columbus.
Was it? Oh, it was Columbus.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was nuts. I don't even know who that kid was, man. Like I didn't get his name or anything like that. But
That's crazy.
it was like literally more than half the game. He did that every shift until I
Let's get some good stuff talking about.
then Chris Cage.
Got any memories of being on the set of Love Guru?
Yeah, so that was
I have that movie over there, by the way.
yeah. That was like the best month and a half, man, of my life. Honestly, that was like something where I was waking up every morning. I was in my home city. We were shooting at it was called Air Canada Center back then.
Did they change the name?
It's Scotiabank now.
I still call
So it
it
was
the
ACC back then. So I'm like waking up every morning at 5, going to that rink and hanging out with Timberlake and Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel.
Rough.
And putting on a Maple Leaf
And
sweater.
putting on a jersey, and it was surreal, man. And then we shot.
Now I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie.
It's crazy. And we shot it there after their preseason, so it was teams, I believe. And we shot it after the first period, so they literally like carried all the cameras on the ice. They said, "Man, you got 4 minutes to do as many plays as you can." So we're actually filming in front of sold out crowds in Toronto. Wow. And there's actually like a clip. There's one clip on YouTube when we're playing the Red Wings in the movie. So anyway, we shot, there's maybe 20 something different plays that we shot in a couple weeks. And they only used like 4 of them in the movie. And it fucking blew my mind because the one play I had to do in front of that sold out crowd was a play that if I ran that 20 more times, I'm messing up 19 times. And I killed it. First take. I had to do like a crazy move through everybody, go behind the net, spin off a guy, and then do a Michigan move with no, like, they wanted me to use like a magnet just so I can get it. And I'm like, no, I want to try this. Like,
I don't need no fucking magnet.
I go, I can do it, so I want to try it. And I killed it, man, first take. And then they didn't use it. And I was pissed, man.
Sons of bitches.
Is that out there? Is that video out there?
It's
somewhere?
not. And they were taping it on the side, too. So there's cameras on the ice. And then the guy to the side of the net probably has the best view of this. And I wish I had it.
Like a making of type of deal.
Yeah, like the people at the rink in Toronto said this is the loudest the rink's been shooting this movie. Because, I mean, they put it on the announcement, like, hey, we're shooting a movie. You guys can be loud, da-da-da. We blew the roof off it, man. And for them not to use it blew my mind because it was fun though. But I mean, just going into a trailer with Timberlake and his wife, and like just sitting there having drinks with him or eating, it was just
listening to practice that stupid fucking accent that he had to do in that movie.
The greatest name, and he's probably one of he's probably one of the funniest guys, man. Like he's legit funny, man. And Romney Malco, of course, the guy that I played, I kind of trained him, for 2 weeks because he couldn't skate at all, man. Like he was walking on the ice, and by the third week or in a month in, man, he was moving. Like I had
take his skate guards off. wait for it.
He ran on the skate guards to make him look like he was skating.
But by the end of that, man, he was moving around. So that guy, it was an awesome experience. Half of the time, I felt like I was just in a dream, man. But it was definitely something that I'll never forget, man.
Did they let you keep the jersey?
You know what? I should have grabbed it, but I left it in the bag, and I got the pants and the gloves and stuff like that, but I did not get that jersey. And it was just crazy because he was the main guy. Like I was always on the ice. All these other guys had breaks, and but I was on the ice for like 15 hours at a time. Some days.
Damn.
Wow.
And I mean, you got your breaks, but I was always out there. So,
But you didn't hate that too much. I mean,
No,
I'm
it
sure
was-
your feet were
it was,
killing you.
yeah,
after
it
a
was
while,
awesome.
but-
Like you'd have times where you can go in the room and sit there for an hour or two. Like we'd play poker and stuff like that in the Leafs locker room, or we shot some of it in Oshawa, Ontario. So,
Oh man.
but no, it was cool, man. The movie I thought was okay. It got voted the worst movie that year, but the
Well, it
experience
was meant to be.
you know, it's
stupid
Mike
funny.
Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think the hockey part of it could have been, if they would have had like a hockey player editing that, it would have been unbelievable. But
I laughed a lot.
no, so did I. I think the first 2 times I watched it, I think I gassed myself up so much about it. Like I was so pumped that,
Yeah.
and then just to see it, I was like, oh, this
Did
sucks.
they tell you they weren't using that scene?
They didn't, man.
Oh wow,
They didn't. And if you watch the movie, like we had 2 other stunt doubles. So I did like his skill stuff, scoring and stuff like that. And then when he gets clotheslined, it's another guy. And then I think another guy did a few scenes, but yeah, it was crazy, man. Like we should at least use like 10 of those plays, but we only used like 4.
That's crazy.
So how did you end up getting that?
Yeah, so we every summer back home we have like a pro tournament. So it's like 4 or 5 teams, like NHLers are out there. Wayne Simmons was always there, Stewart Brothers, Carcillo, Sagan. Anyway, so I was playing in that tournament. I'm kind of just warming up, and then we played the game, and then the guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, we're shooting this Mike Myers movie here in Toronto, and you know the lead guy's a black hockey player, and I think you should come out for the casting." So,
Frozen?
Is that
Son of a bitch.
so?
It
The
is
first
frozen.
so the first thing I did was I called my agent. I said, "Hey, I got this opportunity to go out for this movie, and you know, if I get this part, I'm probably gonna have to miss a little bit of training camp and stuff like that." So once I went to the casting and we did like a week-long training camp thing and picked me, I called my agent again. I said, "Listen, I can't turn down this opportunity or this money." Or so he called. I was actually supposed to go to Peoria Rivermen's camp that year in the AHL, and I was
Right before the Blues sold him.
yeah, so I was in Bloomington. I was already signed in Bloomington, but I was going to Peoria's camp. So we called them. They obviously understood, and I ended up missing like 4 games of my season in Bloomington.
I'm sure the pay made up for it.
Oh no, yeah, it was. I made like 2 salaries in a month and a
Did
half.
he give you a frozen one?
No, I think
You got a little.
all that.
But it's like, oh fuck.
That's good.
Mine's, mine's perfect.
At least it's Labatt, so that's good.
It's not this nasty brown.
Hey.
God.
Had to get a good Canadian beer.
Yeah, that's it, man.
What was all the moose jaw or moose head?
No, the
Whatever
moose
fuck
head
it
was
is.
good, but I mean,
So yeah, no, back to that. It kind of just
away from your shitty beer.
it kind of just fell in my lap, man. Like I was just there playing a pro tournament and happened to be at the right spot, at the right time. So
I completely forgot you were in that.
yeah, man.
I've never seen it.
I remember watching it. I'm like, okay, is that Leo? Is that Leo?
That's
Is it?
gonna
It's like,
change.
yeah, that looks kind of like Leo. That looks like
That's
a
gonna
Leo
change.
move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you watch it, because you can see there's 3 different stunt doubles, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
you can tell. Okay, the guy gets
you
flipped
could-
over. You go, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not. You know, that's
or you
not
could
the
tell
stunt
when like
double.
you could tell when actors actually skating, and that it goes to my point where they could have just put my skating in it more and then just showed his face, but the way they cut it was like, okay, you can tell it's the
When he
actor
goes from one to
skating.
another.
Well, you
So-
can tell.
No, anybody.
No, anybody can.
Oh,
No,
really?
You know what I
anybody
mean?
can.
Like,
Anybody
like-
can tell if you know hockey.
If,
you go,
when you
yeah,
watch it,
kinda.
you'll see like, holy shit, this kind of sucks. Like they could have edited this way better,
Wow.
but
Do you get any residuals from the movie?
I do. I do get royalties for the rest of my life. So,
Nice.
So what do we
But
got?
they
we owe you $1.15.
they
if we
come-
play it here.
well, when it was on Netflix, it came on Netflix for a bit. So I
Really?
told everybody, man, keep watching it because it's
Put it on
Is
loop.
that
You know
per-
what? You know what?
is
You
that
could actually
per
put it
view?
on loop.
I think it is
Really?
because when it first came
Should we
out,
just go click
and like
exit,
my
click, and
my
exit?
royalty checks come like out of nowhere. I don't know when they're coming. So there was a year where I got like 3 in the year, and then I didn't get one for 3 years.
There you go. Everybody watch hockey, or what is it?
Love
Love
Guru.
Guru, yeah. So
right.
keep watching it,
Michael
because
Myers.
once it,
Everybody watch it weekly. While you're locked down.
yeah, you got lots of time
It's
now.
the number
Yeah.
one movie across America.
We can have a contest so you can watch it the fucking most.
Please,
Give Leo some extra money. Watch The Love Guru. We had to meet.
These guys in Indiana are watching this fucking Mike Myers movie.
Okay,
Oh,
everybody
man.
tonight, watch The Love Guru.
Yes,
Mike
please.
Myers,
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, no, Romney Malcolm,
Jessica Alba. There you
Jessica
go.
Alba.
That's the best part of the movie right there.
I like the little
I don't
short
know,
guy.
man. He
that
said
comes-
he
Yeah,
Jessica
Vern
Alba.
Troyer. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Oh,
So
mini
like
me.
every morning, man, I had to do makeup and everything, man, which is kind of crazy. But I had to go in this trailer, and Vern Troyer, I knew he was small. Everybody knows he's small from TV, but in real life, he was fucking tiny, man. He was. I think he came up to my
He went up
kneecap.
to he wasn't
like,
even up to your butt cheek, was
no,
he?
he's up to my knee. I think. Like he literally couldn't walk up the trailer steps. Like his assistant had to pick him up.
Holy cow.
So that's how small he was, and he used to just ride around the rink in his scooter, man, like bumping into people and like running. Like, it was crazy.
Like icing.
Yeah, no, like, it was nuts, man. Like he'd mess with everybody on set, and you
Well,
know,
what are they going to do? Like, you
No, I
say
know,
anything
it's-
to him, he's just going, what? Is it because I'm short?
but no, he was funny, man.
I don't know, man. You said you got to spend time around Jessica Biel. I think that might top Jessica Alba to me.
Yeah,
that's right. I
Yeah,
forgot
100%. Because she wasn't in the movie, but every morning I came, man, she was sitting there with Timberlake, and
You're just going like,
I'm telling you, man, I thought it was dreaming half of the time, but
That was your Stanley Cup right there.
No,
Plus-
100%.
Well, plus, and then at the end, the Leafs win the
Leafs
Stanley
win the
Cup.
Sta- yeah,
There
so-
you go. Yeah, okay, this is cool.
it was just crazy how it all worked out, man. Honestly, like I said, I'm a diehard
Being
Leaf
in
fan.
the Indiana, sold
Yeah.
out, playing on that ice.
In a Leaf jersey,
yeah.
winning the cup, like it was just all
Yeah.
like, man, this is
And dressing
nuts.
in the dressing room
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
It was nuts. It was awesome, man. So
But you
hopefully my
didn't
boys.
keep the jersey.
I didn't, but it's all right. I mean, I
Is
got.
it out there?
he's got everything else.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure the people
need
or
to
the
get him
Hollywood
one.
people.
We need to find it.
Yeah, 77, Darren Roanoke.
Larry's the jersey guy.
Well, I'll keep my eyes open. I know people that have
Movie
jerseys
collections?
from certain movies. Yeah, Mystery Alaska and.
Oh, yeah.
Such a
yeah.
good movie.
That was like that jersey and my Peoria Rivermen, my only AHL game. I wish I had that jersey. And I actually
Those are
seen.
ones got to look for. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
found some jerseys that you just go, I never thought I'd find them.
Yeah,
I
it's-
found the 2 old timers jerseys in the last
Well, I mean, if you
9
find,
months.
you get something,
Yeah.
and it's a one-off. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, if you only played one
What
game
which
or one,
which
you know,
Peoria was it? You only played, was it the dark or was it the white?
It was a white, and it was number 36. I actually seen a guy.
What year was that?
You guys
I'm
have-
good at
You guys
making-
have to pull that up, man. I can't
Got
remember.
it right here.
That's got it.
Yeah, he's the Google master.
07 maybe.
OEP.
Oh, 708.
Yeah.
So you weren't there with Big Bish then.
No. But I forget where I seen the guy. It might have been when I was playing with Fort Wayne, and we were on the road.
Dude, that
We're-
guy's a fucking monster.
We were in Bloomington, I think, and I seen a guy actually wearing my Peoria jersey, and
Look for it.
I wanted to catch him after and be like, "Man, I'll pay you for that, man. Just let me get."
So,
I bet we could find one.
that'd be nuts.
Larry's pretty
I
good at
found
this shit.
some stuff
Larry
lately.
will-
nuts.
He's
Larry
already
will
on
not-
it.
Larry will not give up his source.
so
Man, if you find that, I'll definitely pay for it, man. Because that's
Yeah,
one
we'll-
jersey that I want. I want that more than the.
So did you play a
Movie
game
one.
in Carver then? Carver Arena over there or not?
I played my only home game was it was a home game in Peoria.
I love that old barn.
Yeah, I love
Carver's
it too.
awesome.
was Revo there when you were there?
Reeves?
Yeah.
No, Polak was there.
I'll say Reaver's probably, 5-6 years younger than you?
It says that he was on the team that year.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I literally went there. I went there for one day, man. I went there during the day, played the game, and went right back to Bloomington. They kind of had like a flu bug going around, and they called up me and 2 other guy team from Bloomington. So
So what was your penalty there? In Peoria?
it was a slash. It was actually funny. I slashed a guy's stick or something like that, and The guy looked at me. He's like, "Don't bring that shit up here." It's like, all right, man. I go, man. I had to get on the score sheet, man, somehow. So if it was
I left my mark.
if it was a penalty or a couple shots on net, but definitely experience, man. I'll never forget too. And I wish I could have had some more games up there, but I did go to a couple camps, so it was good.
So was the style of play, the speed, was it a big difference from?
Bloomington?
Yeah.
It was just easier, right? Like, I think the higher you go, the easier the game is. So
A little crisper.
I definitely felt way more comfortable up there. It was just, and it was just like when I went to San Antonio Rampage's camp. I thought I had an unbelievable camp that year. Like, I think I proved that I should have been up there for at least a few games, but you know how hockey works. There's politics. There's
Oh yeah.
some of it's timing. I'm not gonna like make excuses or anything like that, but I think I could have did more stuff. I could have worked harder. Or
There's a lot of timing that has to do
No,
with
yeah.
hockey. There really is.
And
A
at
lot
that
of
time,
luck.
San Antonio was with
Were
say the
Phoenix?
Coyotes, maybe.
Let's say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So like Daniel Winnick was down there, so it's like, man, it was just bad timing. But I think I had a great camp. I think I had like 10 points in 3 inter-squad games or something for the Rampage. So that was the year I signed in Laredo Central League, and then I just went to their camp. So but it is what it is. It's
Say who?
I got lots of chapters for my book when I finally decided.
There you go. We were talking to Anthony Petrozelli earlier this year. We were sitting at the brewery when the boys got done with their golf tournament that day, and I was like, "So what was it like with the Wolves camp this year?" And he said, he goes, "I never thought I'd be happy to be back in the coast." And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Man, in camp, everybody's running around trying to fucking kill you."
Well, everybody's going for a job, man. That's how it is. That's how it should be, though. I mean,
It is.
I know back in the day it was like that. It was, me being a 20-year-old kid, and I'm going against 30-year-old guys. They know I'm coming to take their job. They're not taking it easy on me, especially back then, too. Like, it was...
Well, yeah, hockey was still a little bit more ballsy back then.
Yeah, there was fights every inter-squad, every practice. So I think that's kind of why I became the player I was back then. And not to put anything against the game now, because it's
No, I
different.
won't.
You know what I mean? But back then, they groomed us, man. Like, we were prepared.
The game's got puss now, man.
Yeah, but,
It's all skill and finesse.
yeah, it's...
Well, this, the game now probably would have been more suitable for your style of play.
Oh, 100%.
Because you were
100%.
because you were based on speed and just getting
Ready to go.
as fast into the play. Yep.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I could have played both. I could have played back then, but definitely now. Like, I look at the NHL now, and I'm like, I would have loved this. No clutching and grabbing, man. I could have been flying around.
You could have buzzed pretty good.
Yeah, So, but
You know what? But hockey is a game that you can still play.
No,
That's a whole.
100%.
That's the whole thing. When a football player's done, he's done.
No, he's done, yeah.
You're not gonna go out and tackle. But hockey, you go. I'm playing with
have
guys
this-
that are in their 50s and
Yeah,
60s,
yeah.
and I go, and I still love it. It's like, I don't have the speed, but I find a way to get to do
get-
what I want
yeah,
to do.
yeah.
I can still do the stuff I want to do. I just got to think about it a different way.
no, absolutely. Like, I'm still waiting on like a Comet Legend game, man. I can never come back for those when I was either playing or coaching.
That's
We're
a
gonna
put
get
together.
Shrockie wants to do another one.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, they'd like to get Kalamazoo again or
Yeah.
Toledo.
Toledo.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, man. Because I know Dave would call me once in a while, or when it was about to happen, and I just couldn't. This year I couldn't make it, so now that I'm able to attend one of those, I love it, man. Hopefully that gets done for sure.
They let an old fart like me play with them last time, so
Oh yeah,
that was fun, man. That was a blast. We played against the Trine alumni and
Oh,
staff,
okay,
and
nice.
so I had 2 goals and 2 assists, but my line mates were Schrock and Ryan Potts. So
Oh, there
Well,
so I was and Schrock,
Half a Shrocky.
half a Schrocky. Schrocky had hurt his Schrocky had messed himself up at
Sky Zone.
Sky Zone, yeah, Sky Zone. Yeah,
Tore
he-
the old Achilles that day and still went out and played.
and had a hat trick that night.
that's Rocky for sure, man.
So-
Yeah, man.
Is there anything that you regret or wish you would have done different with your career playing?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I said about what I would tell a younger kid kind of thing coming into the game. And I think I could have did a few things when I was younger a little bit different or taking it more serious. And I had offers to go play Nebraska Omaha, like a full ride, and I decided not to do that. Or, I was a kid. I was 18, 17, and
New best.
playing juniors, and was having fun. And, I'm in East Lansing having fun there, and didn't take it too seriously. But I think if the career could have went a little different if I went to school and got an education, free education and stuff like that. So that's kind of one regret. But at the same time, to play 13 years pro, that's an unbelievable accomplishment, man. So
May never have ended up in Fort Wayne if you.
no,
went that
exactly.
route.
A lot of things, and I met my wife here and had a kid, and now I love Fort Wayne, and my kid loves it here, and so none of that stuff probably would have happened if it went the other way. So, but that's just one thing that I always think about is what if I did that? What could have happened? Maybe I get drafted to NHL because the college game at that time was just go, like all speed and stuff. So I could have probably flourished a little bit more in that kind of style of hockey. But, that's probably just the main thing, though, for sure.
I know, glad that you did make it here to Fort Wayne. Everybody loved seeing you here.
Oh, man, I loved playing here. It's, to win fan favorite, that was probably one of the coolest things for me was, besides the championships, was just the way the fans were with me. And I think I won it 2 years that I was here. Even to this day, when I grocery shopping or I'm just running around, whatever, and you kind of always run into somebody who knows who I am, or, they have some good, fond memories of when I played, or they say I was their favorite player or whatever. So that's always cool, man. It's always cool to me.
What's it like when you go to the games? 'Cause I know I ran into you a couple times at games, and you still see your jerseys walking around.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I wish I saw a lot more, but
They're here.
but no, I every game that I can make, I'm usually out there. So I usually make sure I go say hi to Dave and the coaches, or guys like Sid and stuff. I'll make sure I go swing by and go say what's up to them, and stuff like that. So there's still plenty of fans where I have to go see them as soon as I go in the rink. I'll go say what's up to them.
Oh yeah,
And
there's a few of those out there.
No, yeah, and like these are people that will message me out of the blue, or comment on something that I post, and
Sure.
they have that respect, and they always respected me, so I make sure I go out of my way to say hi. And guy like Larry, I probably should have went up there a few times, but I don't usually go up to the press box.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because you're another guy too, man, that you always showed respect to me and stuff like that. So
Got you all those mixtapes back in the day.
yeah, man, he made me like, I don't know if he told you, but he made me like I was a big Jay-Z fan, or I had an article of what kind of music I listened to, and I came to the rink the next day, and Larry had like
It's like 200
every Jay-Z song
songs that he'd been
on a CD for me, and I was like, man, that was awesome. Like, that's stuff like that. where
Pre-game, man.
I didn't ask for that. He went out of his.
Napster, you owe him $1
You all right?
million.
I lost my house for
I was
it,
gonna
but
say,
that's okay.
as long as he didn't get caught, man. That's, but that's something I didn't ask for, and he just did that, man. And that's,
I knew what you did for us. I'm like,
yeah,
did something
no,
nice.
that was awesome, man. So I mean, that CD was in my truck for years, man. I was blasting that shit for years.
Nice.
So no, that was cool, man.
yeah, it was a fun group to be around. I mean, I that with Mac, and that was when Seabass was playing, and I played those guys ping pong every game,
Every game,
every game, and
Bertram,
Chaffee,
man.
and we played Dunner, but Dunner sucks. So
Oh man,
would make you. It's like if you wanted to win, easily get Dunner up there and play. But yeah, that was the group that I always felt included in it, and I always listened to you guys. Whatever music you wanted more of, say whatever you wanted to do, let's do it, because you walked down the hallway and you knew that you guys just had something that was just like you said, it was special. You
man.
knew that this group was going to do something big, and you guys never disappointed. I mean, I remember what was it? One of my favorite memories of you was I think we were down like 2 goals, and it was like a minute and a half left to go. Pulled the goalie, scored one, and then scored, and that was Port Huron. You scored with 2 seconds left to go. Yeah, just came in and just just nose for the net and just scored, and then we ended up winning it in overtime. And I thought that
I remember that game.
I thought that place was going to come down.
that
that was a playoff roar for a regular game.
Oh yeah, that was
huge.
my biggest goal of my Comet career for sure.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
crazy.
people were. And the thing is, we always expected it'd be you or it'd be PC or it'd be Chalker.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, everybody could score in the last minute of the game. When we're down, you pulled the goalie, you're like, we're going to tie the game.
Yeah,
You had no. You
I
did.
actually,
It was
you went,
true.
I have no doubt you're going to tie the game and win the game.
I think we actually won that game on that. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
won
won
it
in
with 2
overtime.
seconds. No,
Yeah,
I don't think it was
it was like
overtime.
2 point. He's right. It was like 2
It was
points.
tied.
it?
We tied it
They
late.
remember the
scored
game.
and won it.
Yeah, and then we won it with 2
It was
seconds.
like
left,
we were
man.
down 3 goals. No, we were down 2 goals
Two
with
goals.
like a minute and a half to go. And we
That's
scored
right,
3 goals
because the
in a
celly
minute
was
and
in
a
the
half
corner.
to win it, and that place.
And then we
just-
came home and just dominated them. Game 7, like it was over in the first period at home. But that was the kind of thing, man. I remember that goal to a T because Bertram just kind of spun around the blue line and put it on net. And I knew I was hoping it was coming to me. I don't think he knew where he was putting it, but I happened to just be backdoor with my stick on the ice and turned around after that goal, man. I had no idea how to celebrate. Like guys were going to birdie, and I just went. I looked at our bench, and Chalker's just losing his shit, and I just beelined it to our bench, man, and that was huge. And then Port Huron, we always had more fans than they did, man. So
That wasn't hard.
we're walking out to our bus, and we just had a couple hundred people like
Yeah.
just going nuts. So
That was that old high school gym rink, man.
Oh, yeah.
Or what was
McMorrow,
yeah.
That's where the roller team's gonna be playing. So.
Well, and then didn't they have isn't that
Oh,
where
the
the
Federal
Fed
League
is
team,
up there?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Prowlers or whatever?
Still up there.
So that was like another small rink that I didn't mind. Like it was crazy.
No,
Neutral
it
zone
was
was
another one of
tiny,
those
but-
old school
Yeah.
rinks. You threw the neutral zone in 2 strides, and then
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. So
that. I remember, what was it, 08 with the triple overtime game against? Was that against Flint, or was that Port Huron?
Huron, yeah. I came here the year, so that was when Hodges
Oh,
scored
that's
that
right.
big goal. Yeah,
God,
Sterling against Sterling.
oh Larry. One of these days, we're gonna get Sterling on this
That
show.
would be
He'll do
awesome.
it. He'd
Yeah,
do it.
no, he would. He
I
would.
got a picture of him in Dayton holding the Comet flag.
Oh yeah,
He was cool as hell.
he was nuts,
Real
but yeah,
nuts.
he was good stuff. He
If
was
you
good
got
stuff.
into his head,
Oh, he was done.
Shit.
Yeah,
All you had
he
to
was
do
done.
was score a goal.
Well, we knew that, man. Like we'd go by his net and like smack his post and do little shit.
Oh, if you touch that guy's post, he
Yeah,
went
yeah,
post.
we knew
Oh
that.
man, he went nuts on you.
We knew that.
That was that OCD he had, man. Don't fuck with his net. I'll tell you too. Well, we want to wrap it up and we can finish our beers.
Yeah, 'cause I probably gotta go back.
Anything else?
Just gotta go get rid of these beers.
For the last hour. Thanks, guys.
No, yeah. Well, this has been fun, man. I appreciate you guys having me, and
We'll have
like
to
I
do it
said,
again.
anytime, man. Anytime to give me a shout. And
Yes, all you people out there watching, keep your eyes posted
you
for
mean?
the Komets alumni party.
yeah,
August 15th. I think that's the date we picked.
I think so.
and just let me know if I can help.
long as-
If you guys need somebody here or another
Yeah.
player, man, like
I know we're gonna have.
Warner, we got to get you over here, and I'll make
Yeah,
it
no
happen.
shit.
I'll make it happen.
Quit dodging me, damn it, Brandon. I know where you play.
Didn't
I live there.
Right?
Bob Stewart say he was coming?
Yeah, Bobby Stewart wants to come down
nice.
and bring a bunch of other guys too. Dave Norris,
Nice.
a few others. So the old guys. We'll just go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there's
I'm
a lot
almost there, man.
There's a lot of old guys.
I told that to Schrocky the other one time, and he was like, "Fuck you, I can still play."
Oh, he can, man.
Yeah, but that head didn't age.
Yeah. I told him, I go, man, I started losing mine at 24. Just start shaving it, man. You gotta,
Pull Sid.
yeah, man.
When we had Sid on the show, or no, it was Petey.
It was Petey.
Petey was on the show, and Sid popped his head in when we had the old office at the Ice House, and he was giving Petey shit. He just turned around and goes, "Sean, take off your fucking hat. Why don't you take your hat off, Sean?" He goes, "Hold on, let me get my goddamn sunglasses, Sean." Just gave him all kinds of shit.
It's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be back this weekend. We're going to have another one, I think, Saturday or Sunday, because we got to keep you guys occupied.
We let it out.
No, not that one.
Yeah, that's next
We're
weekend.
going to have another one this weekend
So-
with a former captain, recent captain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a good one.
Very,
Did you
very recent captain,
We,
not AJ.
We can put some beliefs to rest that are inaccurate. Maybe?
Oh yeah, okay. I remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember to watch Love Guru. On
Yeah,
repeat.
watch Love Guru.
On
Seven
repeat.
times.
Like on repeat. Yeah.
Leo wants more checks.
I need
Let's
more
go-
checks.
Let's
Yeah,
do
if you
this.
got, if you got any of those streaming systems, just put it on. Put it on repeat. Run it 24 hours
Go to
a
bed.
day. You don't even have to have the TV
That's
on.
it, man.
Seriously, watch it once at least.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
a bad movie.
Don's
Yeah, it
never
grew
seen
on
it. It's
me,
gonna
man.
have to.
Yeah,
I've
it
never
grew.
seen it.
Jacques Lecoq.
Yeah, no, so definitely the Mike Myers. So
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you this weekend.